All right, let's dive into food regulatory advisors today.
Mm-hmm.
Audits, food safety, regulations,
Yeah, whole world of them.
and you navigating it all.
Absolutely.
So you've got your RoleCatcher guides, career guide, interview guide,
Right.
even their AI.
Uh-huh.
We're going to
It's
help you
family.
ace that interview.
Sounds good.
What does a food regulatory advisor even do?
Well, it's more than just, inspections.
Right, of
It's
course.
like you're a food detective, right?
Oh, like that.
Making sure everything's up to code processing, labeling, the whole nine yards.
Keeping everyone honest.
Yeah, and helping companies innovate while they stay compliant.
So you're not just like the rule enforcer. You're
Exactly.
part of the process.
You got it.
Okay, so heart of the matter interview questions.
Let's do it.
RoleCatcher has 9 common ones.
Yeah.
So let's tackle those.
Okay, first one. What inspired you to pursue this career?
Okay, that sounds basic,
Yeah.
but tricky.
Yeah, they want more than just, I like food.
Right, exactly.
You got to think about what really sparked your interest.
Like what got you hooked?
Yeah, was there a specific food safety issue?
Something in the news?
Yeah, or maybe a personal connection.
Like family in the business?
Exactly, family and farming or a passion for, sustainable agriculture, something like that.
Find that personal hook.
Right, make your answer stand out.
RoleCatcher says, avoid vague answers here.
Mm-hmm.
And their AI can help with this.
Absolutely, yeah.
How so?
Well, the AI analyzes the job description, picks up on keywords,
Oh, interesting.
like passion for food safety, experience with HACCP,
HACCP, that's,
hazard analysis and critical control points.
right, of course.
It's a system for food safety.
Okay.
And you weave those keywords into your answer, basically speaking their language.
Show them you get it.
Exactly.
So it's like a personalized cheat sheet.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, another common question.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date on the ever-changing world of food regulations?
Oh, man, it feels like a constant challenge.
It is. It definitely is.
So much is always changing.
Yeah. And you need to show you're proactive.
Right, not just reading random articles.
Exactly.
What are some good examples to mention?
Specific journals,
Oh,
like Food Safety Magazine.
oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Even better if you can reference, like, a recent article.
Something that really stood out to you.
Yeah, shows you're really engaged.
RoleCatcher lists a bunch of professional organizations, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like International Association for Food Protection.
Uh-huh.
Are those worth mentioning?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
shows you're plugged into the industry, right?
Yeah, part of the community.
Right. And attending conferences, webinars, things like that.
So it's about showing you're actively learning.
You got it.
Okay, let's get tactical. How do you ensure food products are compliant with regulations and standards?
Oh, this is where your experience shines.
You got to have a good answer for this one.
Yeah, have a process ready to explain, like reviewing labels or conducting audits.
Clear, concise.
Yes, and here's the secret sauce, a compelling story.
Oh, stories. I like it.
Everyone does.
How do you weave a story into this?
Think about a time you caught a tricky issue.
Oh, I see.
Maybe a labeling discrepancy that could have caused a recall,
Oh, wow.
or a safety hazard during an inspection.
Okay.
Sharing that story, focusing on your actions and the outcome,
Shows what you can do.
exactly, showcases your problem solving, attention to detail.
That's way better than just saying I'm detail-oriented.
Right.
What about RoleCatcher's AI feedback here?
Oh, that's super helpful.
How so?
It helps you assess if your answer is specific enough,
Makes sure you sound confident.
Exactly. And you can even practice your answer, get feedback on your delivery.
It's like having a coach in your pocket.
Pretty much.
Okay, last one for now. This one feels like a curveball. How do you balance regulatory compliance with the need for innovation and business growth?
This is about showing you're not just a rule follower.
You get the bigger picture.
Exactly. You understand business needs, but also know compliance is non-negotiable.
Right, it's a tricky balance.
It is.
Any tips from RoleCatcher on this one?
They emphasize that bigger picture mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of a time you helped a company develop a new product
That met all the regulations.
and pushed boundaries?
Ooh, that's good.
Or maybe you found a more efficient way to comply with a regulation, save the company money.
Great examples.
Yeah, it shows you're finding solutions, not just ticking boxes.
Right, and this is where your expertise comes in.
Absolutely.
Combining technical knowledge with communication skills.
Right, you're explaining complex information clearly, working with different teams.
You're the bridge.
That's it.
Before we move on, let's touch on career stages.
Okay.
RoleCatcher breaks down the responsibilities from entry level all the way to senior positions.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this important for interview prep?
Because it helps you tailor your answers to the specific level you're applying for.
Makes sense.
Right. A recent grad might focus on eagerness to learn, while someone with experience highlights their leadership skills.
Showing where you fit,
Yeah,
knowing what they're looking for.
exactly. Okay, back to those interview questions.
Let's do it.
We've covered some basics,
Right.
but now for some curveballs.
Oh, bring it on.
RoleCatcher has one about risk assessment.
Oh, that's a big one in food safety.
It is high stakes.
What's the question exactly?
How do you approach risk assessment and management in the food industry, and what tools or methodologies do you use?
Okay, so they want to see how you think.
Yeah, not just hear jargon.
All right. So what's a good way to approach this?
Well, you need a clear, systematic approach. Start by outlining how you identify potential hazards.
Like what kind of hazards?
Biological, chemical, physical, the whole spectrum.
Okay.
Then you explain how you assess their likelihood and severity.
And that's where tools come in.
Exactly. Mention things like HACCP.
Right. HACCP.
Hazard analysis and critical control points.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, but it's good to bring it up again.
So don't just name drop it.
Right. Give a concrete example of how you've used it.
Like a real world scenario.
Exactly.
Maybe a time you used HACCP to identify a temperature control issue.
Perfect.
Notice a discrepancy, investigated, found a faulty thermometer.
Yeah, something like that.
Shows you could apply the principles.
And that you're a problem solver.
Which RoleCatcher emphasizes in their career guide.
They do. It's a key skill.
Okay, what about emerging threats?
Oh, that's another big one.
Feels like you need to be ahead of the curve.
You do. It's not enough to just know current risks.
What's RoleCatcher's question on this?
How do you stay up to date with emerging food safety risks? And what steps do you take to mitigate those risks?
So it's two parts, awareness and action.
Exactly.
What are some good ways to show you're staying informed?
Attending industry conferences is a good start.
RoleCatcher mentions those.
Yeah, but go further. Mention specific publications you read.
Like what?
Journal of Food Protection, Food Safety Magazine.
Oh, yeah, those are good ones.
And highlight recent research or trends that you've been following.
Show you're on top of it.
Exactly.
I saw RoleCatcher linked to the International Association for Plant Protection Sciences. Could that be relevant?
Absolutely, especially if the role involves imported goods or agriculture.
Showing that global awareness.
Right, thinking beyond just domestic regulations.
Okay, so you've identified an emerging risk.
Right.
Now, how do you mitigate it?
This is where you get specific about your process.
Wow.
Did you develop a new training program based on the risk?
Oh, interesting.
Or revise the company's quality management
What
system?
protocols?
Yeah. Or maybe you collaborated with suppliers to ensure they were meeting the latest standards.
Working together.
Exactly.
Real-world examples are key here, right?
They are, always.
Maybe you had to act quickly to mitigate a risk.
Yeah. Like implementing new cleaning procedures after a foodborne illness outbreak.
Something in the news.
Yeah, shows you're proactive.
Okay, shifting gears a bit.
Sure.
Let's talk about people skills.
Yeah. Yes, very important.
RoleCatcher asks, how do you work with internal and external stakeholders to ensure compliance with the regulatory requirements?
This one is all about collaboration and communication.
Working with different teams.
Exactly. Production, quality assurance, management.
Even regulatory agencies, consumers.
It takes a village.
It does.
RoleCatcher talks about building effective partnerships.
Right. So what does that look like in practice?
It starts with understanding everyone's perspective.
Everyone has their own priorities.
Right. Production might focus on efficiency.
Quality assurance on safety.
Management on budget.
You have to navigate all of that.
You do. You're the bridge.
Communicating requirements, listening to concerns.
Finding solutions that work for everyone.
So you're a translator, negotiator, and cheerleader, all in one.
That's a good way to put it.
Building that team spirit.
Exactly. Working toward a common goal, safe, high-quality food.
Okay, one more question on this theme.
Right.
How do you balance the need for regulatory compliance with the need for innovation and business growth in the food industry?
Another balancing act.
It is. How do you approach this one?
The key is framing compliance as an enabler of innovation, not a barrier.
So finding ways to make new ideas work within the rules.
Precisely.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Talk about times you helped companies develop cutting-edge products that still met regulations.
Showing that you're forward-thinking.
Right. And remember that point about staying up to date on industry trends?
Uh-huh.
You could talk about helping a company adopt a new technology.
That improves efficiency and safety.
Exactly. A win-win.
Or maybe you identified a regulatory gray area.
and worked with the authorities to find a solution.
That opened up new opportunities for the company.
It's about thinking outside the box,
Showing your expertise.
but also how you apply that knowledge to solve problems.
Right, those problem-solving skills again.
They're essential.
Okay, let's move on to something that can be tricky. Labeling and advertising.
Oh, yes, the world of food labels.
So many rules.
It can be a minefield.
What does RoleCatcher ask about this?
How do you ensure that food labeling and advertising are accurate and compliant with regulations, and what steps do you take when issues arise?
It feels like there's a lot to watch out for.
There is. Every detail matters.
So how do you approach this?
You might start by mentioning your review process for all labels and advertising materials.
This is where that attention to detail is key.
Absolutely. You're looking for anything misleading or non-compliant.
Like what kind of things?
Missing allergen declarations, unsubstantiated claims, incorrect nutritional information.
Okay, so you find an issue.
Right.
What happens then?
This is where communication comes in.
You have to explain the issue.
To the marketing team, legal team, maybe even the authorities.
Sometimes you have to be the bearer of bad news.
It happens.
Like, sorry, but we can't say that.
Right, but it's about finding that balance.
Being firm on compliance, but also collaborative.
You want to be a partner, not a roadblock.
A good example to share might be a time you had to revise a label or pull an ad campaign
Exactly.
because it wasn't compliant.
And ideally, you found a solution that still achieved the marketing goals.
A win-win.
Right. Maybe the revised label was even more appealing to consumers.
Or the new ad campaign was more effective because it was accurate.
That's the goal.
It's about that bigger picture mindset again.
Exactly. Understanding that compliance protects public health and builds trust.
Okay, last question for this section.
All right. What is it?
RoleCatcher asks, how have you collaborated with different departments to implement food safety initiatives or address regulatory challenges?
This is about teamwork.
Showing how you work with others.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot,
Yeah, we have.
from job descriptions to tricky scenarios.
The whole interview landscape.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes career advancement.
Continuous learning.
This field is always changing.
It is. How do you stay ahead of the curve?
Right, exactly.
Well, RoleCatcher's career guide highlights a few things.
Okay, like what?
Certifications, for
Right.
one.
Oh, right.
We talked about HACCP.
Yeah.
Getting certified in that shows commitment.
Demonstrates expertise.
Exactly.
They also mentioned certified food scientist, certified quality auditor.
Valuable credentials.
Look good on a resume.
Absolutely.
But it's more than just certifications.
Right. It's about that ongoing learning.
Staying curious.
Exactly. How do you stay engaged on top of your game?
Right.
RoleCatcher talks about conferences, professional organizations.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah, a great way to stay informed.
Learn about trends, new risks.
New technologies, all of that.
And it's not just the presentations.
No, it's the conversations.
Talking to other people,
Sharing insights, learning from each other.
networking.
Exactly. RoleCatcher has a whole section on that in their career guide.
Oh, cool.
They talk about building relationships, finding mentors.
Mentorship, that's a good point.
It is. RoleCatcher's career stages section shows how experienced advisors often become mentors.
Helping those who are newer to the field.
Exactly.
Finding a mentor can be so valuable.
It is. Learning from someone who's been there.
Getting advice, insight.
And as you gain experience, you can become a mentor yourself.
Give back to the community.
Share your knowledge, help others grow.
It's a cycle of learning.
It is, creating a culture of improvement.
Okay, let's bring it back to the listener.
Yeah.
We've given you a lot of information,
We have.
but the real work starts now.
Time to prepare.
Craft your answers, practice your delivery.
Show up confident.
You've got this.
You do. You have the knowledge, the strategies.
And RoleCatcher's AI in your corner.
Absolutely.
So as you start your food regulatory advisor journey,
Think about this.
you're not going in blind.
You're prepared.
You have the resources to succeed.
And remember, the world of food is constantly changing.
New ingredients, new technologies.
New challenges.
How will you adapt?
How will you keep learning and growing
That's what sets you apart.
in this dynamic field?
Good luck. You've got this.
You got it.